This video will give you an insight into how our data acquisition system works, what sort of data we can collect, and how we use that to make adjustments to the bike and refine certain aspects of your riding with the ultimate goal of making you faster. So when we load up a run, this is what it will look like. You have the footage from the onboard video, which is attached to the handlebars. So this gives you a visual reference for what's going on track. It's great for seeing if there's any anomalies or anything that looks strange in the data. You can look at where that happened on the track, and it might be a feature on the trail which has caused that, or there'll be other clues that can help you out. So it's good to have that visual reference. Down here there are the different scenarios we can use to look at different aspects of the bike and the riding. Depending which one you choose will depend which sets of data you get to look at up here. We have a channel list here. This is all the different streams of data we can get from the various sensors on the bike. And again, we can use these figures here to further dive into the data. These figures, for example, if you looked at the average brake pressures, if you're going faster from run to run, you'll see these average brake pressures coming down. You should see rear wheel speed, average rear wheel speed climbing. And then the data is also synced with the video. So if we play the trace, this will show you how the data works with the video. So these graphs are also showing you, at the moment these are showing you a 2-second window of time in each one. And the trace down at the bottom here is showing you all of the data in this scenario on one 10-second window at a time. You can adjust this, so you can look at 5 seconds, 4 seconds, whatever's easiest or however benefits you. And then we can use these traces are what we'll use essentially to refine what's happening on the bike with regards to the riding or the bike setup. So if we were to look at suspension, this will bring up the data is most likely to be relevant to what's going on with the suspension. So these are G-forces going through the front and rear axles, suspension travel, rear wheel speed and braking. For example, the G-force one will give you a lot more information than just suspension. These are the collective forces going from the trail into the axles. From here you can tell how the suspension dampers are dealing with those forces, but it's also not necessarily just suspension. So this will tell you how your tyre casing, tyre pressures, inserts, spoke tension or wheel stiffness are also affecting the axles, the forces going through to the axles, and how they're being isolated from the bike by the suspension. You can also look at things like cornering. This will give you an insight into, again, braking and rear wheel speed, but also lean angles left and right, corner arcs. So this trace down here will show you oversteer and understeer, and then the frame vertical position and lateral left and right movement of the frame, which again is not stuff that you would think about as a rider, but it's all very important in analysing how we can make you faster. Rider inputs is another one, so a good thing we can look at is rider weight distribution. So this will show you the front axle G-forces, the frame vertical position, and the rider input. We'll be able to see whether the rider's weight is too far to the back or too far forward, etc., and make adjustments there. That will give you a very brief overview of the sorts of data we can collect, how we can look at it, and how it all works. Every aspect of the bike and the rider sort of interlink with each other. So that's why it's a lot more important to look at things other than just suspension. People tend to blame suspension very quickly for what's happening on the bike, when there is more than likely another explanation for whatever the rider might be looking to fix. That's how we collect data from your bike and your riding, how we interpret it, and the sort of insights we can get. So if you've got any more questions or you want to know any more about it, just drop a comment below and or drop me a message, and I'll endeavour to help you out.